الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings of Islam. May Allah's peace and blessings continue to be upon the noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his household, his companions, and all the believers who follow him until the last day. So just like we promised yesterday that we are going to do a screen recording of the explanation of the IOU and the voucher. Now, as we said yesterday, these two documents are our source documents, so we should endeavor to use them as much as we can, starting from this NMCCP camp. Then after that, we should make sure at our TCs and zones we use this document. On no account must there be authorization for spending of money verbally. That's a very bad practice, because 5 months, 6 months down the line, you may not even remember whether you actually authorized such transactions or not. But when you have your source documents, it will serve as evidence. So these two documents, the IOU and the voucher, they are very important. Now let's start with the IOU. The IOU, the implication is that mo fẹ́ lọ ra nǹkan, mi tí láìdíyà òye tí kìíní ẹ̀ máa cost, but I need money. The person in charge of finance will not just give out the money to you just like that, without anything to hold you that you are owing him or her. So that is the purpose of the IOU. So tabati lọ́bẹ̀ ni ẹ pé a fẹ́ lọ ra nǹkan kan, the head person in charge of finance will give you a blank IOU. Now, ideally, when you collect IOU, the ideal period is within 5 days. You must come back and retire that IOU. To make it back go in 5 days, you must have been clear with and come back and tell everybody this is how I spent it. But for the purpose of the camp, about the camp, 24 hours is the maximum. So think about by tomorrow, you must come back and tell us how you have spent that money. So that is the standard we are setting for ourselves. So let's assume pé àníkéyàn kan lọ ra nǹkan, àwọn kankan wá ta fẹ́ lò ní camp, tán bá ti fún ní IOU yẹn, a kọ date issue. So the expiration day ó ti mọ̀ pé the next day ni, so ó máa kọ date yẹn síbẹ̀. Èló ló fẹ́ gbà? In this case, I need 300,000. Yes, we be. The kí ló fẹ́ fi ṣe, a kọ síbẹ̀, a dẹ̀ kọ orúkọ ẹ̀, name. He will now take it to the zonal coordinator for authorization. So condition tí ẹni tó wà in charge of finance máa fi release owó fún nìyẹn. Tí zonal coordinator tó bá busy, tí ò bá jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ kó jẹ́ pé òun náà ló máa ṣe gbogbo, he can delegate somebody. So and that person, àwọn méjì yẹn ló máa lè authorize the payment. So once then you have a signature either of the two, then I release the owó yẹn fún ẹni tó fẹ́ lọ ra ọjà. So tó bá ti wá lọ tó lọ ra nǹkan tó fẹ́ rà, by the time he comes back, he need to get a cash voucher. So in the cash voucher yẹn sì yìí, a kọ dates. That all cash vouchers must be pre-numbered. So I send our blank kini yẹn sí wa so that I lè print it. So I'm one numbers our cash voucher yẹn serially, so that we'll be able to track the vouchers at any point in time. So tabati fún ní voucher, a kọ gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó ń fowó yẹn ṣe line by line. Tí voucher ẹyọ kan ò bá lè tó, a gba additional one láti fi kọ gbogbo ẹ̀, a dẹ̀ kọ amount. Ibi tí account code wà, ẹ jẹ́ ká ignore yẹn for now. So tó bá ti kọ gbogbo owó yẹn, then ibi total, a kọ total ẹ̀ síbẹ̀. Then received by, orúkọ ẹ̀ ló máa kọ síbẹ̀ yẹn. So tó bá ti fill eléyìí tán, then he will now take it back to the zonal coordinator or the person that has been authorized by the zonal coordinator to approve payment. So táwọn yẹn bá ti wò, tán bá ti sign it, túmọ̀ signature ni pé yes, we are aware of all this spending. So then àwọn spending tó bá jẹ́ pé ó require receipts, we have to attach those receipts to the voucher. Irú ẹni tó lọ ra printing paper sí, wọ́n á fún ní receipt níbẹ̀, ó máa attach ẹ̀ mọ́. Well, for instance, aero transportation sí ìyẹn ó difficult pé ó fẹ́ gba receipt lọ́wọ́ driver, so ìyẹn will not bother about receipt. Tí gbogbo receipt àwọn purchases kan tó bá ṣe, ó máa add ẹ̀, á table ẹ̀ mọ́ cash voucher yẹn. So tán bá ti authorize it, they will now take it back to the person in charge of finance láti lọ submit it. Now ẹ mọ̀ pé IOU ẹ̀ wà nílẹ̀, IOU ẹ̀mí kò jẹ́ wá lówó. Now 3 scenarios ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀. A fún ní 300, ó ná gbogbo 300 yẹn, exactly 300. That's the first scenario we can have. The second scenario is irú ìtaníbí is 300,000 ló gbà. By the end of the month, nǹkan tó rà is 192. So which means ó yìí jẹ́ wá ní 108. So tó bá fẹ́ submit cash voucher yìí, ó máa include 108,000 yẹn. Ó máa include owó yẹn pẹ̀lú voucher yẹn, méjèèjì ló máa submit fún ẹni tó wà ní finance. Or the third scenario could be 300 la fún, but ó ná 350. So by the time tó bá débẹ̀, tó bá submit voucher yìí, tẹ́ni yẹn bá wo orí IOU, ẹni yẹn máa dá 50,000 padà fún. So 3 scenarios tó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ni. So tó bá ti submit voucher yìí, what will happen is that the person in charge will cancel this IOU. Ó lè kọ cancel sórí ẹ̀, àbí kó fa 2 lines diagonally sórí ẹ̀. So which means pé ẹni yẹn ti retire IOU yẹn nìyẹn. So á dẹ̀ fún ní IOU yẹn. Tó bá jẹ́ pé a ní láti refund owó fún, a fún ní additional fund tá máa refund fún, and that is it. So let us get all these white files from and perforate yẹn. So our vouchers we will be filing them and keeping them first, because tó bá ti sọnù, owó ló sọnù yẹn o. So it's like money, our evidence of spending. So we keep it. So gbogbo àwọn kan tó wà lórí voucher yẹn náà, ẹni yẹn máa record ẹ̀. Ó lè record ẹ̀ sínú ìwé. Tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ó ní system, he can record directly onto the tracker, onto the sample, the general entry book template tá fún wa. So but tí ó bá ní, a máa kọ sórí paper. So at the end of the day, maybe like the last day or the second ẹjọ́ tàbá wẹ́gbà fẹ́ kúrò lọ́la, a day before lálẹ́, we can now look at gbogbo nǹkan tó ti record against all these vouchers and IOU tó bá yìí wà nílẹ̀. La máa fi verify pé nǹkan tó record ó wà accurate, because error lè ṣẹlẹ̀ at any point in time. So that's why we need all these source documents. Irú ibi tó ti ra fuel for generator nígbà tó fẹ́ kọ 25, bóyá 23 ló lọ kọ sínú ìwé títí ẹ̀. So by the time I reconcile, tá bá ti rí pé source document ní 25, so we will adjust that one. So at the end of the day, eléyìí la máa wá mú gbogbo nǹkan tó wà lórí bí la máa move lọ sórí the general entry template tani. So the general entry template yẹn sì, you have the receipt column and you have the payment column. So wo tó bá jẹ́ receipt bí la máa enter sí, tó bá jẹ́ payment bí la máa enter sí. Tó bá tiẹ̀ wá jẹ́ pé nìyẹn ò tiẹ̀ wá láìdí àkọlé enter iléeṣẹ́ gbogbo source document àti nìyẹn, you can just give it to anybody that has finance experience. Ó máa bá wa gbé gbogbo àwọn kìíní yẹn jáde tá ní ní issue. So but most of the issues we observed at our last zonal summit are because we don't even have source document. So ẹlòmíì nígbà gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n padà rántí tán kọ sílẹ̀ kò tó even the income tí ó wọlé, talk less of their expenses. So we know of a zone tó jẹ́ pé ordinarily zone yẹn wọ́n yìí lówó lọ́wọ́ owó wà lọ́pọ̀ gbà tó gbogbo nǹkan tó ń rántí kọ sílẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀sì ló gbé jáde fún wọn, so which should not be. Then for our receipt, let us try as much as possible to discourage the use of cash. Gbogbo àwọn receipt wọ́n jẹ́ kó máa wọnú bank account wa direct, ó máa wà easier fún wa tá bá fẹ́ ṣe any recording or any report. A kò máa ní láti print statement yẹn jáde and be able to capture all those things accurately. So everybody tó wà ní TC àti zone ló gbọ́dọ̀ understand the use of this IOU and voucher, because going forward we should not release funds to anybody without either of these documents or both. So let us try as much as possible. Ká kọ́kọ́ fi NMCCP yìí ká fi bẹ̀rẹ̀, then thereafter ká máa imbibe at our TC. Then going forward too, àwa náà máa try láti tún ṣe refresher training on this so that we understand it better. So àbí Ọlọ́run subhanahu wa ta'ala camp náà tí ó ń bọ̀ kọ́lọ́run kó ṣe ní ìrọ̀rùn fún ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká rí casualties níbẹ̀. Àbí Ọlọ́run ó gbà ní ìjọsìn lọ́wọ́ wa kó má dàlú wa láyà. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullahi li wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.